Have you ever fallen in love with a video game series? That was me with the Yakuza series. The Yakuza series is very bizarre. In many ways. Sometimes you will get the most heart-wrenching scenes, and other times you'll be hanging out with a Yakuza boss who likes to wear diapers. I first started playing the Yakuza series back in 2022, starting with 0 and gradually making my way through each game, and some of the spin-offs. And recently, I finished Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yakuza 6's finale was a very different ending compared to the games before it, as it marked the end of the Kiryu saga of the series. Kiryu Kazama, the protagonist of the story, had decided that he would become a dead man, his existence erased. Now, he will be going under a new identity. And the series would continue with a completely new protagonist, Ichiban Kasuga.
Hey, how's it going?
When I first started Yakuza Like a Dragon, I had heard some mixed things about the game. Previous Yakuza games were beat-em-up action games featuring Kiryu as the lead, a hardened man who had fought his way through waves of Yakuza, trying to protect the things he cares about, each punch being a symbol of his unwavering ideals and principles. But now the game's combat is turning into a turn-based game, with party members and changing jobs. I enjoy JRPGs, but I was also told that I should wait for a mod to release that would turn the game into a beat-em-up. But I decided that I should try the game as it was released. Ichiban isn't this stoic hard-ass of a guy, but a lovable idiot who has to fight a giant Roomba and a chimp named Clara operating an excavator. The combat is also pretty solid, minus some clarity issues on whether an AoE attack will hit a target or not. But overall, I enjoyed the game a lot. Ichiban has easily won me over because of what he stands for. The thing that motivates Ichiban and what drives the story of Like a Dragon forward is one word: family. Family has been a running theme throughout the Yakuza series, whether it be Kiryu and Haruka, Majima and Saejima, Daigo and Kiryu, or the Morning Glory Orphanage. But Kiryu's relationship with family had become very difficult over the years, as each new entry had Kiryu's family put in harm's way. If you put Kiryu's family in danger, he would climb out of the depths of hell if he had to, putting his life on the line to protect his adoptive daughter Haruka and the children at Morning Glory Orphanage. In many ways, he's a lone wolf, fighting against all odds either by himself or with very few people beside him to protect his family. Kiryu is a protector, but Kiryu's response after successfully protecting his family is usually putting distance between himself and those he loves. He moves to Okinawa, as far away from the Tojo clan and their problems as he could, but he still decides to get involved in their problems. He leaves Haruka and the orphans in Okinawa to become a taxi driver in Fukuoka because he worries that his past as a Yakuza would harm Haruka's chances of becoming an idol. And if not for Haruka throwing everything away for family, Kiryu would have died at the end of Yakuza 5, alone, under a street lamp in the snow. Kiryu's principles are greatly influenced by what he's lost, and he's lost a lot. He's lost his adoptive brother, Akira Nishikiyama, his adoptive father, Shintaro Kazama, his first love, Yumi Sawamura, and a great friend, Enriquea. Each of these people valued Kiryu and sacrificed themselves for him and Haruka. Kiryu tried his damnedest to hold on to those that he cared about, only to see those same people slip away. So, he chose to let go entirely, because in his mind, this was the best chance for him to secure a future for the people that matter the most to him. If he was gone, no longer would there be another big bad coming to hurt those he cares about. But Ichiban is not the type that is willing to let go. Ichiban is not a protector like Kiryu. He doesn't have the same raw strength that Kiryu does. Instead, Ichiban brings people together and empowers them. And it's this unity that makes Ichiban strong. Nobody is perfect. Everyone has their own strengths and flaws. And Ichiban understands this very well, as he brings people together who have a variety of different strengths, who are able to cover for each other's weaknesses, and is able to create something that can last through any torment and turmoil. And he did this because he opens his heart to people and allows him to truly understand those people. Let me give you an example. In Like a Dragon, when everyone around him questioned Masami Arakawa's intentions in betraying the Tojo clan and shooting Ichiban, the only person who chose to believe in Masami Arakawa was Ichiban. Because he knew his former patriarch wouldn't betray the Tojo clan without a reason. He knows him well. He knows the man he came to respect. And he knows that his patriarch is not a rat. When Ichiban defeats Ryo Aoki, he pleads to him to change his ways, that there is still time. Because deep down, he knows that Ryo Aoki is a good man who has been misguided. Ichiban was in charge of Ryo Aoki when he was still in a wheelchair, and had come to know him very well. In fact, he was there on the night that things drastically changed in Ryo Aoki's mind, when he faced his ultimate betrayal. And he knows Ryo Aoki so well that when he fled at the end of their battle, Ichiban knew that he was heading for the coin lockers, where their destinies intertwined. And Ichiban's ability to trust in others allows him to form bonds with nearly everyone he comes into contact with. From Adachi, Nanba, and Saiko, to Songhui, Zhao, and Nikogata. When Nanba leaves the group for a while and sides with Bleach Japan, Ichiban never wavers in his support for Nanba. Even to the point that Nanba cries because he cannot believe just how much Ichiban is willing to unconditionally forgive him. What Ichiban is able to foster also extends out from him. The idea that Songhui, the leader of the Komijul, the Korean mafia, could be willingly given leadership of the Yokohama Liamang, the Chinese mafia, when previously they were at odds, is insane to think about. Before Ichiban came to Ijincho, it took 3 separate organizations keeping a seemingly uneasy peace agreement to ensure the stability of the city. But now, after Ichiban's influence, these 3 separate organizations have united against a greater threat coming from Ryo Aoki, and their long-held distrust for one another shattered. Ichiban and Kiryu have similar upbringings, so it's interesting to see just how different their approaches to family are. Both are orphans who admire their hitman surrogate fathers, who inspire them to join the Yakuza doing debt collecting jobs for roughly 5 to 8 years, only to take the fall for a murder that they did not commit and spend over a decade or 2 in prison before being released and having to confront their adopted brother in a final showdown at the top of the Millennium Tower. It's Like a Dragon just Yakuza 1 in disguise. But perhaps the biggest difference can be seen in why both Kiryu and Ichiban joined the Yakuza in the first place. Kiryu joined because he idolized Shintaro Kazama. His car, his confidence, the way everyone bowed to him when he walked into a room. They dreamed that they could be like him, without fully understanding the cost Shintaro Kazama went through for all of that. Ichiban joined the Yakuza out of respect for Masami Arakawa, who stuck his neck out for a kid he did not know. He wasn't looking for wealth or respect. This difference in mentality between Kiryu and Ichiban is why Kiryu flourished becoming a lieutenant in the Dojima family, and eventually being recognized as the Dragon of Dojima. While Ichiban, on the other hand, didn't take money from people unjustly, and became known as Rock Bottom Ichiban. And as they developed as Yakuza, Kiryu chose to express himself through quiet action. He lets his fists convey his emotions and his ideals, while Ichiban would raise his fist only when his words could not reach the other person. Ichiban is willing to open himself up emotionally to his opponent and cry with them, while Kiryu is only able to be emotional when he's alone. And it's why Kiryu becomes very isolated, while Ichiban is surrounded by love. Kiryu and Ichiban both prioritize their families, but their different life experiences and personalities have defined their approach, with Kiryu being this duty-bound man who will do anything for his family at the cost of his own happiness, and Ichiban connecting emotionally with others and fostering a mutual trust in each other. The Yakuza series has really done a lot to explore various aspects of family over the last 2 decades. From stoic sacrifice to heartfelt connections, Kiryu and Ichiban have proven that family is always worth fighting for.